With the rise in the crude oil prices, there is an end to the relief that was given so far to the common man after 137 days. Now there's been a hike in prices as far as diesel and petrol are concerned. Across cities, they were hiked by over 80 paisa a litre, and cooking gas has been hiked by 50 rupees per cylinder.
It was November last year when India saw its last fuel price hike. That means it's been 4 months when India is witnessing its first fuel price hike by 80 paisa per litre for both petrol and diesel. In Delhi, 96.21 paisa per litre is the petrol which is being sold at the petrol pumps, and diesel is being sold at 87.47 rupees per litre. There are a few commuters who we would like to speak. Sir, आज पेट्रोल डीजल के दाम फिर से एक बार बढ़ गए हैं, 80 पैसा बढ़े हैं 4 महीने के बाद. कितना असर होने वाला है बजट पर?
बजट पर ऑफ कोर्स आज 80 पैसा बढ़े तो चुनाव खत्म हुए तो कल माइट भी 1 रुपया बढ़ जाए. सो आई थिंक इट्स गोइंग टू बी लिटिल हार्ड ऑन द पॉकेट एंड लेट्स सी.
LPG cylinders have also be hiked by ₹50 per liter. घर का भी बजट जो होता है वो भी कहीं ना कहीं गड़बड़ाने वाला है.
ऑफ कोर्स आई थिंक 80 रुपये बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं. दिस इज लाइक इफ यू हैव फैमिली फॉर 2 or 3, so one cylinder will take at least 1 month. So you are going to spend in 1 month 80 rupees extra from your pocket. So that's going to be little tough for us also.
भाई ऐसा है ना, सोच बदलना चाहिए लोगों का और कुछ नहीं. ये पेट्रोल में 2 रुपया 4 रुपया बढ़ जाने से क्या हो जाएगा? आपने जब जमीन लिया था याद है आपको? लिया हो गया 20 लाख, आज हो गया 50 लाख. आपने कभी बताया? पहले सैलरी मिलता था आपका 10,000, आजकल मिल रहा है 50,000. कभी बोला आपने? नहीं बोला. उसी तरह से सोच बदलिए. सरकार पेट्रोल पे टैक्स लेती है तो आपको फैसिलिटी दे रही है. आज आयुष्मान भारत हो या कोरोना का टीका पड़ा, पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. मैं तो इसको गलत मानता हूँ. जो लोग कहते हैं ना, उनसे पूछिए क्या भाई आपके पॉकेट में कितने मोबाइल है, हमको बता दीजिए. अगर मोबाइल उसका 5,000 कम का होगा, मैं कहूँगा पेट्रोल दाम थोड़ा कम कर दे. वो सब में कमी नहीं है. चाहे मोबाइल हो, स्मार्ट घड़ी पहन के चलेंगे, उसमें कमी नहीं है, लेकिन खाली पेट्रोल में ही दिक्कत होता है.
We are right standing outside a petrol pump in Mumbai, as you can see in the Santa Cruz area, where we're reporting on the increase in the petrol and diesel price by 80 paisa. And you know, the current prices in Mumbai are around 110.82 paisa for petrol, as well as for diesel it has risen to 80 paisa, and now it is 95 rupees for diesel. Definitely these prices are skyrocketing right now, and today was a hike after 4.5 months and after completion of the elections. And also which we found that LPG prices have also risen by around 50 rupees. We're joined by one of the commoner and Mumbaikar who will let us know how are they feeling at the moment. Sir, price बढ़ गए, क्या कहेंगे?
बहुत बुरा हो गया और क्या हो सकता है, और इससे आगे तो और बुरा हो जाएगा. हम लोग भी बिक जाएंगे इसके बारे में. तो आम चीज बढ़ेगी तो हम लोग भी तो मरेंगे ना उसके आगे.
और ये जो कह रहे हैं 50 रुपए से LPG सिलेंडर भी बढ़ गया है.
वो तो बढ़ ही गया है और बढ़ाने वाले, तो हम लोग ही मारे जाएंगे. वो लोग थोड़ी, उन लोग को कोई तकलीफ थोड़ी है. तकलीफ हम लोगों को है, हम गरीबों को है. अमीरों को कोई तकलीफ नहीं है. सरकार को ये बात सोचना चाहिए ना हमारे बारे में कि हमें क्या तकलीफ हो रही है. वो बारे में तो सोचते ही नहीं है. बस आगे क्या बोल सकते हैं. बाकी तो उन लोगों का हाल जो है वो तो देख ही रहे. पब्लिक भी देख रही है, हम भी देख रहे हैं, आम पब्लिक भी देख रही है.
And we're asking our viewers to join us and express your views about this rise in fuel prices, because this is perhaps not going to end here. The experts believe that it could increase drastically by as much as even 10 to 15 rupees is a possibility, is what we're told. Of course, it all depends on where the international crude price goes across to. Let's go across to our first viewer joining us. Satish Nagpal is joining us from Delhi. Yes, Satish.
सर, ये तो अभी शुरुआत है. अंजाम देखिए, पता नहीं क्या होता है, क्या क्या बुरा होगा. बहुत बुरा होगा. मतलब पब्लिक को किसी तरीके से जीने नहीं देना इन लोगों ने. ये कहना कि इसका अमीरों में कोई असर नहीं पड़ने वाला. अमीर गरीब सब इसके शिकार होंगे, महंगाई का शिकार होंगे. भगवान बचाए. केसरिया ने अपना असर दिखा दिया पेट्रोल के दामों पर, गैस के दामों पर. मेरा इतना ही बस कहना है.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Nagpal ji. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए. Let's now listen to more political reactions coming in because clearly the opposition is trying to put the government on the mat on this story, saying that the government is not sensitive to the concerns of the Aam Aadmi. All right, there are reactions of common persons coming in. Let's listen to them.
गरीब आदमी का तो मरना है. पेट्रोल क्या एक साइकिल निकालना पड़ रहा है अभी क्या कर, क्योंकि कमाई उतनी नहीं है ना. तो पेट्रोल रोज का 50-60 रुपये का रोज जाएगा, 100 रुपये का डाल के क्या करेगा आदमी, खाएंगे क्या.
गवर्नमेंट ने इसकी तरफ ध्यान देना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए. जो भी सरकार आती है वही लफड़ा होता है.
अपन फुल करके कितने दिन रखेंगे ना, और घर में तो स्टोर नहीं कर सकते अपन पेट्रोल.
ये तो महंगा हो रहा है, महंगाई बढ़ रही है, उसे कुछ कम करना चाहिए.
निदान तो सरकार को ही निकालना पड़ेगा. हम तो जनता हैं, हम तो चुन के आपको बैठा दिए कि भाई आप अच्छा करेंगे. अच्छा क्या हो रहा है, निदान तो निकालना है सरकार को. और जनता जब तक सजग नहीं रहेगी, जनता जब तक विद्रोह नहीं करेगी, इसका निदान नहीं होगा.
जेब पे तो बहुत ज़्यादा असर पड़ रहा है. एक आम आदमी की महंगाई इससे भी बहुत मैटर करता है, क्योंकि डेली का आमदनी जो है उसका आधा खर्चा तो इस पर भी निकल जाता है. नुकसान तो सबको हो रहा है गरीबी को.
दाम बढ़ ही रहा है, ऊपर से हम लोग प्राइवेट सेक्टर में है, तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर में है, उसके वजह से पेमेंट तो एक लिमिट है, प्लस उसी में तेल का दाम बढ़ रहा है, उसके वजह से हम लोग को किसी तरह मैनेज करके चलना पड़ रहा है.
Let's go across to our next caller joining us. We have with us Bala Subramaniam from Coimbatore. Yes, Mr. Bala Subramaniam, your views over this hike in fuel prices. All right, I think we've lost that line there. With Bala Subramaniam, let's go across to our next viewer joining us. We have Harshvardhan from Pune. Yes, Harshvardhan.
See, boss, the problem is very simple. There is a war going on. You people have to realize that people are somehow trying to get oil for you people. आप लोग ये क्यों चला रहे हो ऐसे सब कुछ चीज? 100 रुपए से दाम बढ़ गया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? 90,000 का आईफोन लोग खरीद सकते हैं. 1 रुपए से लीटर का दाम बढ़ गया. पैदल चलो, साइकिल चलाओ, यूज पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट. सिंपल सी बातें हैं ना.
Okay, thank you so much for your advice, sir. But for the Aam Aadmi who is going to have an inflationary impact, this is a very real issue, and it's not just an issue right now in the middle of the war. It's always been an issue, whichever government has been in place. But let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. Ravi Srivastava is with us, political analyst. Tuhin Sinha, the question that political parties are raising, and we saw, in fact, virtually the entire opposition walk out in the Lok Sabha earlier today, and they are saying a very simple fact is that all of this is happening right after the poll season and festive season has got over. The prices have once again started magically rising. Was this being artificially held back is a question that they have posed, and why is it happening now? Because this is sure to have an inflationary impact on the economy, because oil prices, as we all know, affects the price of everything from food products to everything, every other consumer good as well.
Good evening, Madhav. Madhav, in the last 137 days, this is the first increase by a mere 80 paise. Now today, the cost of crude oil stands at $113 a barrel. In your screen, I can see it very clearly that this is a 43% increase in the corresponding period that I have mentioned. So as against 43% increase, if we have increased marginally by 80 paise, you need to know that the expenses of the country need to be met. But I think we have done a remarkable job in holding back the prices. People like Ravi ji, who are here to criticize the government, should today answer that at a time when on the eve of Diwali, the government reduced the prices of petrol and diesel by 5 rupees and diesel by 10 rupees. Only a handful of state governments, which includes the state government of Maharashtra and Bengal, did not comply. Why did they not? Just to settle scores with the government. So this was a wonderful time in the last 137 days to bring down the prices. But yes, the prices cannot always be down. In fact, we have taken extraordinary steps like importing oil from Russia to contain the price rise. But we need to understand that price rises, the price of fuel is always dynamic, and a marginal increase at a time when inflation is globally touching record highs was only to be anticipated. But we are still making sure that, the inflation is within control.
Quick response from Ravi Srivastav. Quick response from Ravi Srivastav. Ravi Srivastav, we cannot ignore the ground realities of the international crude prices rising. This was inevitable, says Tuhin Sinha. Please respond to him. Ravi Srivastav.
Mother, good evening. First of all, I have got some basic questions from Tuhin Sinha. Will you tell me that in last 8 years, how much the production of crude oil has gone up in the country? Our dependence in 1989 was 50% on imported crude oil. Today it has become 83%. What our government has done in last 8 years to increase the production? Second thing, what business the government has got to 270% tax on fuel prices? Why? Can't they reduce the taxes on that and give the relief to the common man? And see to it that the fuel prices have cost 44.97% prices have gone up in last 2 years, and 7% have gone up in last 6 months only. Where it will end up? What the common man will do? I know people are sarcastically saying it, that four states you have won, so it means you have validated that the people are ready to face the price increase, whatever you want to do. But this is an inefficiency, incompetency, and a bad planning by the government. The fuel prices crude oil has gone up to $148 a barrel in 2008, and still petrol was selling for 55 rupees. What justification you have got? Why you are charging excise duty of 22 rupees a litre on petrol? Why can't you reduce it? Why can't you give relief
Important
to the
point.
people?
Important point. I will take that across to Tuhin Sinha. I will ask him for a response on that. But I want to go across to our next viewer who's joining us. Mayuram is with us from Bengaluru. Yes, Mayuram, your response to these versions that you've heard from our commentators from both sides.
Sir, first of all, the government has tried very hard to get it under GST, but none of our state governments have actually agreed. So the previous statement made by previous commentator doesn't stand valid. The government has tried everything in its kitty to bring petroleum under GST. That's one point. And one more point. When you're buying bikes and cars worth of lakhs and you're worried about 80 paisa, 1 rupee increase, come on, sir. In Sri Lanka, people are paying 250 rupees per litre, sir. At least you are not that bad. You are paying less than 100 rupees still.
Okay. Let me listen to a response from Ravi Srivastav. Ravi Srivastav, you heard our caller there. He says the situation is much worse in India's neighborhood. Would you like to respond to him?
My friend, I really appreciate what you are saying. The 80 paisa is not a concern. Sir, the worst is yet to come. That is what I am saying. The bulk petrol has gone up by 25 rupees a litre. All public transport and all transportation, logistics, the cost will go up. I have said in my submission that the prices have gone up by 44% of the basic items. Besan, rava, dal, anaj, these prices have gone up, which are affecting a common man. Sir, somebody may be rich enough to afford it, but a common man is really suffering because of this price increase. And my basic question with the Tuhin Sinha, the BJP person, please tell us, sir, why to charge so much of excise duty and the taxes? You have to cut it down. You have to give relief to the people.
No.
Need be, you have to sell the oil bonds again. Whatever options are available for the government should do it. And Russian oil which you are talking about is sufficient only for 4 days of India's consumption.
Questions for Tuhin Sinha.
No,
Tuhin Sinha, please respond. If the government has cut excise rates in the past, why not do it again at such a point of time when it's really going to hit the Aam Aadmi? Because the hike that is expected as far as the impact of this sharp rise in crude prices is expected to be in the ballpark of 15, some say even higher, rupees.
Mr. Srivastav needs to realize that if India is up and running as against many other parts of the world which are still coping with the COVID virus, it is because of the exceptional vaccination program which requires money, which requires funding, and which is where the government is compelled to not bring down excise duty instantly, but wherever required. On the eve of Diwali, as I've mentioned, the government is sensitized of the issue. In fact, it brought down the prices. Today, in fact, the prices of petrol in most parts of the country are significantly lower than they were in the last week of October. The only states which includes, Maharashtra, where I am sitting, which have been unfortunate not to have reaped the benefits of that fuel price cut, are the opposition-ruled states. The opposition is the most sensitive. India's opposition is most insensitive to the needs of the poor, and they should not be lecturing the government. Secondly, he talks about the increase in, the need to reduce crude oil imports. He must realize that this government has taken unprecedented steps at electromobility. Is he preparing to buy an electrical vehicle yet? These are the ways that India will eventually cut down crude oil imports, and that is work in progress.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for the moment. Tuhin Sinha as well as Ravi Srivastava. Certainly, of course, we haven't heard the last word yet, but of course, certainly expectations that this is not the last yet that we've heard. It's perhaps only the first such hike, and we could be looking at potentially a lot more in coming days by the various oil marketing companies. Thanks to both of you for joining us and sharing with us your perspective on this. And